Hi everyone, good to see you all again. Today we're going to learn a very interesting art painting, and this painting is silhouette art. The word silhouette means an image or a design in a single hue and tone. The image is mostly in black or white, like a shadow against a lighted background. Today you're going to do the silhouette art using poster colors. So let's get started. Let's see what all materials we need for our silhouette painting. You need a design of your choice. It can be just an outline, it can be a scenery or any subject of your choice. A cardstock paper or any cartridge paper or even a drawing paper will do this technique. Preferably a thick paper will help you to achieve the good results. Poster colors of your choice, a cup of water for mixing with your paints, a palette, a piece of waste cloth, preferably a cotton material, flat brushes, round brushes. I've taken number 7 in my flat brush, and I've taken number 6 in my round brush, and I've taken number 2 in my pointed brush. A fine tip permanent black marker, a piece of eraser, and a pencil. Now let's learn how to create our very own silhouette art. As a first step, we're going to get ready with our design composition. You can take a design sheet of your choice which will have just an outline of your actual composition. This design is going to be transferred to the white cardstock paper or cartridge paper that you're going to do the painting. To do the transferring, you can try the transferring in many ways. You can actually shade the entire background like this with a pencil, which will act as a carbon for you, and then you can trace it like that on your sheet of paper. So let's first shade the back side of your tracing paper or your design sheet, like how I'm doing now, like this, with a pencil, and get it ready. If you notice, I have fully used my pencil to rub on the back side of my design sheet, and then I'm now ready to transfer my design. You could use this method, or you can draw with your free hand, or you can even use a pencil carbon to transfer the design like this. Now we are just going to center the design to our sheet of drawing paper. You can use a piece of sticky tape to hold it in place, and then you can start transferring the design. The design will be transferred by going over the black drawing outline with the pencil or with a ballpoint pen. You'll be tracing the entire design like this in detail. Start with the horizontal line. Whatever may be your design, start tracing it in an orderly way so that you don't miss out any part of the design. So let's get it traced and get it ready. If you noticed, I have finished tracing the entire design outline, and it's now ready for the next step. As I said in the beginning, you could use a pencil to shade on the back of your design sheet like this and use it as a carbon, or you can even get a ready-made carbon, a pencil carbon, which is easily available in any stationery shop. You can lay that on your paper, and then you can leave your design on it, and you can also trace that way. This is just another way of tracing which I just shared with you guys. So now that our design is all traced and kept ready, we can start tracing over the design with a black permanent marker. You can use a black permanent marker, which is preferably a fine tip like this, and go over the design, carefully tracing on the pencil carbon lines like this. Like this, we will trace the entire design and we will keep it ready. If you noticed, I have finished tracing the entire design with the black permanent marker, and now I'm ready to erase all the pencil lines. Now I'm able to erase the pencil lines only because I used my pencil as a carbon on my design sheet while tracing. But if you have used a yellow carbon or a blue carbon or a black carbon paper, which is available in any stationery shop or craft shop, you cannot do this erasing. So please be mindful, if you're using such carbons which are ready-made in the market, you cannot erase them with the eraser. So I'm now erasing it because I've used a pencil. So let me erase it and get it ready. After erasing this, we will now get ready with our palette, with our poster paints, and we will start with our painting. If you notice, I've completed erasing and tracing all my designs with the permanent marker, and it's now ready for me to start painting. In the same method, I have done another design here. This design is a tree of life design, and I've done the same way of tracing it with the design, and then I trace it with the black marker, and I've erased all the pencil lines, and now it's also ready for painting. I'm parallelly having two designs to show you two different techniques of shading. One is going to be a horizontal way of shading, and the other one is going to be in a radiating effect, like from inner to outer you're going to do a radiating effect of shading. So let's get started with our painting. In our palette, I've taken the basic colors that we need for our painting. You can choose your color scheme accordingly. You can either go for a warm color scheme or a cool color scheme. However you like, you can decide your colors. Same way, you also need to have black, white, which is a mandatory color in your painting, because white is going to be used for the highlight part and black is going to be used for the silhouette design. So let's get started with our painting. Right now I'm going to start with my first design, which I started with the design for you guys. So I'm just going to paint this design first with the horizontal way of shading. So my colors are ready in my palette. I've added just a little water to my paint and I mixed it and kept it ready. You're going to start first with the sky background here. So let's start with the yellow color, the lemon yellow. Just going to apply the design. As I apply the color, you will notice that you will still be able to see the design outline, because we have already traced it with a black permanent marker, a fine tip marker. The design will not bleed, and at the same time you'll be able to see through the colors. Since poster colors are opaque, the black permanent marker outlining is a must when we do this. So now I have applied my yellow, and then next color is going to be chrome yellow. I'm just blending it together with my lemon yellow. And when my yellow is wet, I'm going to apply a little orange. I'm going to blend it with my chrome yellow. Same way, I'm going to use a little bit of red. I'm just going to blend my vermilion red with my chrome yellow. This way, you'll be blending in colors. I'm using a little crimson. Crimson red is another deeper red color. All this has to be done when your base is wet, otherwise you won't get this gradation like this. Same way, the next color that we're going to do is going to be purple. I'm just going to use a little purple there. And again, I'm blending it to my red. And at last, for the horizon, I'm just going to complete it with little blue. Never mind if you cover the minute details, you'll still be able to see, because we have already outlined it with the marker pen. So this way we will create a gradation of colors and we will keep it ready for the sky background. Now our horizontal way of shading for the sky is ready. Now we are going to do the water part. Since this is a water effect that I'm going to show, we are going to do a slightly different way of color order. So the color order is going to be starting again with yellow this time. But as you use the yellow next to the horizon line, you will be using a little white to mix with the yellow. So that will give you an ivory effect of color, ivory white or ivory yellow. So this kind of a shading will start coming for you. As you do this, you can now use chrome yellow and just blend it off immediately as you work with the color. Use a flat brush for this so that the application will be even and faster also. Put an old sheet of newspaper or a plastic sheet so that when it goes out of the paper, it doesn't mess your table. So next color is going to be a little bit of orange. If you notice, I'm not washing my brush because my color order goes from light to dark. So I'm not washing my brush. The remaining color helps me to blend and get a different shade, a lighter gradation of the color. So like this, we will blend off the colors the same way like how we did for the sky, and we will get it ready. Next color is going to be a little bit of red. Don't worry about going over the trace to design. All that will be seen through because we have used a permanent marker. Same way, I'm going to complete this edge with little crimson. And chrome yellow. So like this, we'll cover the whole sheet and we'll get it ready. As a next step, we are going to start shading the water part. So for that, I'm going to use a little bit of chrome yellow. I'm just going to make just streaks like this to give the water ripple effect. So use little lemon yellow, chrome yellow like this to create a water ripple effect. I'm also using a little bit of white so that you will get this water ripple effect like this. So like this, let's get the ripple effect and keep it ready. Leave it to dry for 10 to 15 minutes and then you're ready to add the details. As our horizontal way of shading is getting dry, we're going to try the radiating effect, that is from in concentric circles. We're going to do from inner to outer gradually. So imagining if the sun is behind this tree, so how will be the shading be? Okay, so that's what we're going to see in our shading now. So let's see this now first. So for that, I'm just going to get water and mix my paints and keep them ready the same way. I'm going to use a warm color scheme for this activity. So my colors will be lemon yellow, chrome yellow, orange, red, crimson and a little bit of white. So let's get started with it. As a first step, I'm just going to take white paint and I'm going to make a circle with my flat brush like that. And as my white is getting dry, I'm going to use a little bit of lemon yellow. I'm just going to run my lemon yellow over the white to get a shading of an ivory white color like that. And then I'm going to use direct lemon yellow, make one more circle with my flat brush like that. Flat brush gets handy for this technique. You can even use a round brush if you want, but with flat brush you can do very even application of colors like this. You will be able to see my design which I've already traced with my permanent marker, so you don't have to worry if you will be able to go over it later with paints. So as a next step, I'm just going to use chrome yellow and I'm going to shade that part with chrome yellow. As I shade, as I apply the color, I blend it in quickly into my previous color when it is wet. So you can always go back and forth by adding a little water to your brush and just running it like this to get an even application of your gradation. So like this, we'll give a smooth gradation with a flat brush. Same way, my next color is going to be orange. So I apply the orange a little overlapped on my chrome yellow, so that will give me a gradation. So this way we will be able to smoothen it and get it ready. The next color is going to be red. I'm going to apply vermilion here. Vermilion is a kind of a deep red color. If you don't have vermilion, you can even mix vermilion by mixing red with yellow. So like this, we'll be applying one color at a time and we'll be immediately blending in the colors. So then you'll just run your wet brush and you will even it out like how I'm doing. All this is possible only when your paper is nice, thick and sturdy. If it's a flimsy paper, you cannot run your brush like this. So a cardstock or a cartridge paper or a good drawing paper, at least with 150 or 148 GSM, will work for this activity. So once when I finish my vermilion, I'm going to take crimson red and I'm just going to apply it here, and I'm going to finish my background and keep it ready. If you notice, the radiating way of shading is complete now on this tree of life design which I have started. So this is now, it has to be left to dry for a while. In the meanwhile, we will just switch to our horizontal way of shading and we will start working with the details. Now we already have a moon here, so we're just going to use a direct white with my pointed brush and just going to apply the white paint for the moon, carefully taking the shape like this. Do not over rub the colors when you do on a painted base because it might mix and bleed with the next color, so carefully do this. So once when your moon is applied, you can also apply highlights from the moon on the water base. So you can just put some white and kind of create a shading for the water base to give the reflection of the moon's white light on water like this. So this is one way of showing details for your water effect. Same way, you can also use black paint, which is already kept in ready in my palette. I've mixed little water to get a creamy, nice thick consistency. Use the black paint to go over the trees. Since we have used a permanent marker already, we are still able to see the outline of our tree. And I'm just going to trace over the outline with the black paint and with my pointed brush. So this way we will paint all the trees in black paint and we will keep it ready. If you notice, I've taken the time to fill all the subjects like the trees, the birds, the grass, everything using my black paint to give it a silhouette effect. So take your time to do this step. This can be done only when your base is totally dry. So when the background coloring is fully dry, you can work on it like this. Once when you're finished with this application of black paint, you can use a little fat round brush, preferably a 6 brush or a 7 brush, and take some black paint from your palette, keep it on a flat tray or a sheet and just wiggle the brush like this to get it like this, separated like a stippling effect. And then you can go over to give it the bushy effect for the bushes or the leaves just by stippling the brush like this. This technique is called as stippling. So this will add more depth and volume to your work. So this way you can add a lot of stippling effect of leaves for your trees and you can get it ready. If you notice, I've taken the time to do the stippling effect for my grasses and bushes and tree leaves like this in detail. Now you can stop here with your silhouette painting. If you want further steps, you can even use the white paint to give a highlight here and there for your work and you can complete your piece. This is one way of doing it. Same way, look at our tree of life design. This is now totally dry. You can use the same way your round brush with black paint and you can fill up all the tree part and you can keep it ready to complete this design too. So let's do this and we'll keep it ready. If you notice, my full painting is complete and I've laminated my piece to give a finish to look like this. So this piece was totally painted with a horizontal way of shading with many colors, and then we used black paint to do the silhouette effect of the trees, birds and bushes and leaves, etc. So same way, for this tree of life design, I've used a black paint and I've completed it in the same technique with the radiating effect. This is one way of doing a silhouette effect. You can also try other color schemes. You can also try other color schemes like this. See, look at this color scheme here. I've done a peacock design with a freehand design, and this I've used shades of blue, purple, violet, aqua, green, light green, dark green, yellow and white. So I gave a gradation. The same way the gradation came from here, gradually shading it with my flat brush, I gave a gradation, and then the silhouette effect was made. Look at this one. The Nataraja here is also done the same way by starting with how we did the tree of life design. I've done with white, then with yellow, then chrome yellow, like that it goes on till red, and then the silhouette was done with black. Same way, look at these two pieces. In this piece, I've done a lot of multiple subjects of an underwater theme. So I've done a mermaid, a dolphin, seahorse, jellyfish, angelfish, starfish, and all other sea creatures and the seabed in detail. And I've also shown two-tone of coloring with my silhouette, and the effect comes with this ray of light which goes under the water. I've also added bubbles and a lot of details to give you an underwater effect with silhouette theme. Same way, look at this one. The sun is rising and the reflection of the sun is showing here as a lighting on the water, like how we did the trees. The same technique is done here. I've also gone one more step further by giving a highlight in areas wherever to show the shine of the sun on the image. So this way you can also try various variations with our silhouette painting. In the same way, you can also go a step further by doing a little more complicated and intricate designs. Look at these Nataraja here. Look at all the details of the brass idol, which is against the lighted background. So if you notice, there are a lot of details in my designs here, and I've taken time to highlight each and every part of the sculpture. Same way, look at this Buddha here. I've also done in the same way. I've given a glow around him, and the color scheme here is with like green, sap green, mustard yellow, chrome yellow, lemon yellow shades are used to give the effect. I've also shown a people tree leaf to highlight this design. So there are so many ideas and variations which you can try with the silhouette effect. I hope you will enjoy creating your very own silhouette painting. Thanks for watching.